Hold on. All right,
Hi,
there we
everyone.
go.
Today I'm here with Terrence Hill, my boxing coach, a former pro Muay Thai fighter and kickboxer. So, Terrence, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm from originally from Queens. Moved when I was young, borderline Queens, Long Island, and that's when I started kickboxing at the age of 12. So I've been doing it for a while. Right now, I'm 34. Um, and yeah, without anything else, I think that gives a. You want to read on that? I don't know what you're looking for in there. Is that good?
No, no, that's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, first question. What do you think it takes to be a fighter?
So to be a fighter, of course, when you're 12, I was just starting it just for fun, just martial arts. I was into it. You watch movies, see the Karate Kid, you see movies like The Kickboxer, and you're like, wow, I want to do that for ages. And then finally, at 12 years old, my landlord's sons, they were looking for something to do. And I said, all right, we'll do karate. I went with them, right? So that's what got me into it. So
Gotcha.
what it takes to be a fighter, it's a long way coming from 12 on. I just jumped into it. It's fun, something to do, and I'm good at it. So my instructor saw something in me. Plus, I was very dedicated to it. I just loved it with a passion. It was a way to release energy, uh, and then that gradually turns into fighting. So I don't know from a standpoint of just jumping in and expecting to fight. A lot of people do that nowadays. They
Yeah,
see it on TV. We didn't have, or I don't want to say we didn't have, because we did have MMA back then, but it wasn't as big as it is now. We had they would call it like no holds bar. They called it mixed martial arts, but it wasn't. Was there UFC? It kind of wasn't in it, or if it was, it wasn't as big. They had the I'm forgetting the name of it. It was a big event in MMA fights. I think it was usually in Japan. I'm forgetting the name right now, but it wasn't on television a lot. It was way more brutal. They allowed a lot of different like eye gouges, blows to the groin. So and I'm going all over the place with it, right? But long story short, we didn't have access to it to have the ones that I see a lot of people come through the front door with day one and they want to fight. Uh, I just did it for fun. I got good at it. I liked fighting. I didn't, about being so that made out well. That's if you're passionate, if you're dedicated, and if you could take a punch and give it back, then maybe you could fight. Or anybody that wants to fight. All right.
did
Number
anybody?
one is dedication.
I'm sorry. Did anybody like push you like to like becoming who you are? Like, did anybody inspire you growing up?
So not really. I mean, I guess there's somewhat some inspiration. I mean, ever since I was young, uh, I was into some kind of fitness. So no matter what I did, I would have been in some kind of physical shape. My father, he would work out when I was young. I mean, I would be like 4 or 5 years old doing push-ups and everything with him. So like kind of like monkey see, monkey do. But and it kind of shapes you for later on in life. But as far as being pushed, no, it was up to me to go to the gym every day, and I walked there. Barely ever got a ride. I either walked or rode my bike, and that was it. Nobody pushed it. Uh, my mother, at least, I mean, she showed up to some events, but it was just me. Even though I will say that my first instructor, he was a great motivator.
Hmm. So you would say that like a very important part in like being like any sort of like fighter like it's to be able to push yourself, right? Like you shouldn't have like anyone else like telling you like what you should do, and like just being able to like push yourself to like become what you want.
Um, See, different, is being a fighter. Not everything works out. It works out differently for different people. So, there's not one recipe. But me particularly, because a lot of my inspiration to fight just came from self, came from within. It came from seeing it, maybe seeing other people doing it, and saying, "Hey, I can do that," and being good at it, and having that push and drive. So I look at people. I look at it as if you don't have that drive and push within yourself, I wouldn't look at you as a potential fighter, because I know you can lead a horse to water, but You know how the rest goes. You can't make them drink. And I've seen that happen time and time again, no matter what the talent level was, even on a professional fighter level, where somebody is in that bracket, they are doing great, but they could be a lot better. You know, maybe they could be number one, top five, but they're not because they don't have that drive. And it's okay maybe in basketball and other sports to not have that drive and kind of just get carried along and participate. But this is a sport where you get beat up. You know, like you
Yeah,
a
it's
loss can
you.
be a loss and you might do great. But you can get injured. Some people may die in the ring. And so you never know. So I would definitely have that you want something coming from inside that drives you to do it.
Absolutely. What did it take you to get to where you are?
All right. That's a very general question, but what did it take? Especially going from 12 on. But it, like I said, it takes dedication. It takes you got to have one. You have to be passionate about what you want to do to go anywhere in this sport. Because every day is not going to be a good one. Some days you're going to be the hammer. Some days you're going to be the nail, and you know that can easily change your mind about what you want to do. So it takes you kind of have to have like a one track mind like, hey, I want to do this and I want to do this no matter what. My eye is set on a goal and I'm not doing it for anybody else but myself.
Yeah, like,
That's the biggest part, being dedicated, especially if you're starting. I mean, starting at any age, because there's always something that can drag you away. So there's work, there's other sports, there's whatever you do, women, men, whatever coming from your love, your romantic life that could drive you away, especially if starting at 12, you get 12, you get a good teen. I remember my 16-year-old summers, that was like, I was a little all over the place, but I knew I wanted to do this. But,
yeah.
you know, that's like give and take. It can break somebody. It can make or break a fighter or just anybody from becoming anything.
Gotcha. All right. What are some things I can improve on?
You yourself,
Yeah.
you can improve on. This is how you get a free personal lesson
Basically.
in the middle of an interview. Okay, what I recommend from anybody, just not I know you want it specific, tailored to you. I can tell you some things to be tailored to, but I'll start off in this way. When you start a sport, um, I know it's great to work out. You have those endorphins pumping, and you want to push yourself and you want to do what you see on TV. You feel like that too when you're applying it. You're hitting pads and you feel good. It's important for everybody to slow down and build technique because, especially when you're starting, you're like a blank slate. So whatever you're practicing, if you're practicing it wrong, you're becoming an expert at doing it wrong. That's what you're doing, right? Like imagine if your parents made you walk sideways instead of walking forward from the time you got on your 2 feet. That's exactly what you're doing. Like, and expect you're gonna walk sideways through life, and it's gonna be hard to correct that. And you may see other people walking forward, but nope, your body's just going to just innately just go to walking sideways. I mean,
You
so
gotta get like all the basics right first, right? It's like learn anything else. It's like
learn the basics, the fundamentals. Take your time. For you in particular, you got to stay lower. Bend your legs when you're punching.
actually,
People, I mean, kickboxing, especially Muay Thai, they fight pretty tall. If you look at MMA fighters, they fight a little bit lower, sometimes super low because they don't. And boxers really low. They can sit on their punches because they don't have to worry about getting kicked or getting, took down somebody pulling their feet from under them. But sit down on your punches. That's the biggest advice I can give you. Your back leg is always popping up. So even out your weight, 50-50
thank you.
or 60-40, something like that, so you can block kicks.
Thank you very much for coming on today. And before we go, do you have any advice for people that want to start boxing?
If you want to start, I would say get your ass into a gym. Go, just go. Don't waste time. Just go to a gym and get started because you can spend a year wanting to start something. You can spend a lifetime wanting to start something.
You've never
But never started. Me, like I let everything get in the way. I've never done yoga. I do have a yoga mat. I've had that mat for years. I had it for years because I went to a yoga class and they said you had to be there 10 to 15 minutes before. That was probably 10 years ago, maybe more. And I've never done an official class. So see, I want to do yoga. It's never happened. Get your ass to a gym.
All right. Thank you for coming on today.
All right, let's take care.